Ever finish a book and just need to talk about it? Welcome to Book Labs, the show that takes a deep dive into your favorite books, usually in 10 minutes or less. Whether it's a literary masterpiece, a guilty pleasure, or a hidden gem, we break it down, explore what makes it great, and maybe even change how you see it. So grab that first cup of coffee and let's get into it. Welcome to Book Labs.
Let's dive in. We're taking a look at Ruth Ware's The Woman in Cabin 10 today. Have you heard of this one?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's a psychological thriller, kind of a locked room mystery, but it takes place on a cruise ship.
Ooh, interesting. I love a good locked room mystery. So what are we looking at? What are we trying to unpack here?
So, Ware uses this really interesting setting, this luxury cruise, to explore some pretty heavy themes like isolation, unreliable narration, whether we can actually trust our own senses.
Oh, I see where this is going. Yeah, like you're trapped on this luxurious but also kind of claustrophobic, right, environment.
Exactly. And that setting, being surrounded by opulence, but also being completely cut off from the world, it kind of creates this pressure cooker of paranoia, plays on those fears of being trapped, not being believed, all that.
Yeah, it's like the cruise ship itself becomes this character, this like symbol of society pressures and the masks people wear, like champagne and caviar on the surface, but underneath.
Yeah, totally. And that's where our protagonist, Lo Blacklock, comes in.
Okay, tell me about her.
So Lo is this travel journalist, right? But she's battling some past trauma, anxiety. She's relied on medication, alcohol to cope. And Ware writes her in a way that makes her relatable, even though she's clearly an unreliable narrator.
Which is like key for this genre, right? But why? Why is that so compelling?
Well, because we've all had those moments, right, where you doubt yourself, your own perceptions, and you feel like maybe people are dismissing your concerns.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like, is it me? Am I making this up?
Exactly. And Ware tacks into that universal experience, but then takes it to the extreme. So we're constantly questioning Lo's account of things. What's real? What's anxiety? What's maybe even manipulation?
Okay, so we've got a potentially unreliable narrator, this isolated, tense setting. What's the mystery here?
So the core of it is this. Lo sees what she believes is a woman being thrown overboard. But get this. All the passengers are accounted for. No evidence, no missing person report. It's like a locked room mystery, but on a luxury liner in the middle of the ocean.
Whoa. Okay, now that is a good hook. So right away, we're in that, did she really see what she thinks she saw? Territory.
Right. Is it anxiety? Is her past trauma playing tricks on her? Or is there something way more sinister going on? That question just hangs over the whole book.
Man, I'd be freaking out if I were her, just stuck on that ship with who knows what.
Exactly. And as the story goes on, we get these glimpses into Lo's past, her PTSD, her medication, these flashbacks. They're woven in with the present day stuff, and it really starts to blur the lines.
Oh, that's smart. So it makes it even harder to figure out what is real. Is she misinterpreting things because of her past?
Could be. Or maybe history is repeating itself. Maybe she's being targeted because of what happened before. We don't know.
Yeah, so unsettling. Ware is really good at building suspense, isn't she?
Absolutely. And she doesn't shy away from the dark stuff either. Like, she really digs into the psychology of gaslighting.
Oh, yeah. How so?
Well, everyone's so skeptical of lead. They're like, oh, you're imagining things, or you're overreacting. Maybe you've had too much to drink. It's just constant dismissal.
So it's not just the mystery, it's about how easily people can be manipulated, especially when they're already vulnerable.
Exactly. And it makes you wonder, if she weren't a woman, would they still be so quick to dismiss her?
Right, like, is this just Lo being overly anxious, or is there this underlying sexism at play? Like, they just don't believe her because she's a woman.
And that's where the book's social commentary really comes in. It's not just a thriller. It's about how women's voices can be silenced, especially when, powerful people want to keep things the way they are.
It's like the cruise ship is this microcosm of society.
Yeah, absolutely, where wealth and privilege can shield people from having to, face consequences. And Lo, even though she's a journalist, she's kind of stuck in this system, right? She needs their cooperation, so she's hesitant to rock the boat too much.
Which makes her even more vulnerable. Wow, this is getting really interesting. So it's a thriller, but it's also about power dynamics and how those can play out in these, seemingly sophisticated environments.
Yeah, and it makes you question how much of what we think is real is actually shaped by the people in control, and how can we fight back against that manipulation when our own senses are being questioned?
That's a heavy question. We're going to need a whole other deep dive just to unpack that one. But for now, I guess we'll have to keep reading to find out how Lo navigates all of this.
We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor.
New year, new goals, new mindset. Whether you're pushing boundaries or giving yourself grace, Not Human is here for the journey. Bold designs, effortless comfort, because being human is just the beginning. Start fresh at nothmn.com.
And now, back to the show.
It really makes you think about perception versus reality, right? Like, as Lo is getting more and more anxious, we're right there with her. Is there a killer, or is she just losing it?
It's such a good question. And Ware is so good at making us doubt everything. Like, you think you've got it figured out, and then, bam, another twist.
The way she uses those flashbacks, to show us lost trauma.
Oh, yeah, it's not just backstory. It's like those flashbacks actually mirror what's happening on the ship.
Exactly. Like, is it history repeating itself? Or is her trauma, making her see things that aren't really there?
Right. It's like she can't escape her past, even when she's on this supposedly luxurious vacation.
It's almost like she's trapped in her own mind, haunted by those past experiences, and then she's constantly second-guessing herself.
And then you've got the other passengers, like, instead of being helpful, they're just making it worse. They're telling her she's crazy, that she's imagining things.
It's so messed up. It just shows how easily someone can be manipulated, especially when they're already feeling vulnerable.
Like, those are the people she should be able to trust, right?
Yeah.
But they're actually contributing to her breakdown.
And it makes you think about gaslighting, Like, it's not always this big dramatic thing. Sometimes it's subtle, like just constantly questioning someone's memory.
Yeah, like making them doubt their own version of reality.
That's what makes this book so scary, honestly. It's not just the physical threat. It's like the psychological damage that someone can inflict.
So how does Lou fight back against all this? Does she ever prove that she's not just making this all up?
Well, she starts putting the pieces together, and he notices the cracks in everyone's stories. And we're right there with her trying to figure out what's real and what's not.
So it's a process of, like, reclaiming her agency, right, of refusing to be silent.
Exactly. But it's not easy. She hits some roadblocks, she has doubts.
Oh, I bet. I mean, if everyone's telling you you're wrong.
It would mess with your head. But that's what makes her such a strong character. She just keeps pushing forward.
And it reminds us to trust our own instincts. Like, even when everyone else is saying you're crazy, sometimes you just got to listen to that inner voice.
Yeah. That inner voice is what leads her to the truth, even though it's a dangerous path.
Okay, so we've got this incredible mystery, this unreliable narrator, and then all these layers of psychology and social commentary.
It really makes you think about those moments in your own life when you've doubted yourself, when your perceptions have been challenged.
Totally. Like, how do we know what's real, especially in a world where information can be so easily twisted?
It's a tough question, but The Woman in Cabin 10 really forces us to examine how we form our beliefs and how we stand up for ourselves when our version of reality is being questioned.
It's almost ironic, right? Like, Ware uses this super luxurious cruise, this symbol of, like, escape to show us these really dark sides of society.
Yeah, it's a great contrast. You've got these passengers, they're living in this bubble of privilege, like totally oblivious to the people who are, working their butts off to serve them.
Right. And those workers are often treated unfairly, too. So it shows us this gap, this huge gap between the haves and the have-nots.
And it's happening in this, like, super glamorous setting, which makes it even more striking.
Totally. And Lo, even though she's a journalist, she's kind of caught in the middle of it all, isn't she?
Yeah, she needs the cruise line to cooperate with her work. So she can't just, like, go around accusing people without proof.
So she's trapped. Even though she's surrounded by luxury, she doesn't actually have a lot of power.
Exactly. And that makes her an easy target for manipulation. Like, people dismiss her concerns, not just because she's a woman, but also because she's not part of that elite group.
It makes you wonder how often this happens in real life. Like people in power using their influence to silence anyone who disagrees with them.
It's a scary thought, for sure. And that's why I think this book, it really stays with you. It's not just entertaining. It makes you think about these bigger social issues.
Yeah, it's like a thriller, but also a commentary on, like, how easily we can be manipulated, especially when we're vulnerable.
Right. And it challenges us to be more, like, critical, to really question what we see and hear.
And to trust our gut. Like, even when everyone's telling us we're wrong, sometimes that inner voice is right.
Exactly. Lo's story really shows us that.
Okay, so to wrap things up, The Woman in Cabin 10 is a fantastic psychological thriller. It's going to keep you guessing until the very end. But it's also a story about trauma and trust and the ways that people in power can manipulate others.
And it leaves us with some big questions, like how do we know what's real? How do we separate truth from lies? Especially in a world where, information can be so easily distorted.
Those are questions we all have to grapple with, and I think, reading this book can help us start to find those answers. So yeah, I highly recommend checking it out.
Me too. It's definitely a thought-provoking read, and even if you don't agree with everything in it, it'll definitely get you thinking.
All right, well, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive, but the conversation doesn't have to end here. Let us know what you think about the book or about any of the themes we discussed. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, definitely. And until next time, happy reading.
And that's a wrap on this week's deep dive. Got a book you love and want us to explore? Let us know. Your book could be next. Don't forget to subscribe and smash the like if you enjoy the show, and share with your fellow book lovers. Until next time, keep reading, keep thinking, and we'll see you in the next chapter.